So, hello and welcome to the money section of the Lads 2.0. I'm really excited to have you here. This is a super important topic. Obviously, money is something that makes the world go round, whether we like it or not. And if you want to break out of this mediocre state that you may find yourself in, then controlling your money, making more money, and understanding money is going to be an absolutely vital piece, because when we get this right, it's going to afford us freedom, it's going to afford us more opportunities, it's going to afford us better peace of mind. And there's just really so many upsides to having control of your money and making the money that you are worth. So that's what the intention is of this section. And as with any of these things, this is open to exploration. These are just my beliefs and what I found over the last few years and what I found with clients. So get your notepad and make sure that you are taking notes from this, but going away and researching it and really thinking about the doors that I'm opening for you here, because money is a massive topic. There's a lot of emotions around this. It's going to be slightly different for everybody. And it just requires a lot of work from you because it is an emotional thing, And if you don't think it's an emotional thing, then just look at the research, look deep within yourselves, and just have a think about how your emotions around money dictate how much money you have, how you treat it, how you save it. And if you start to go down that path of emotional control of money, you'll very quickly start to realize exactly where you may be falling short or exactly where you're excelling. So without further ado, let's jump into the money content. So we're going to start off with what is money, and this is really important, and it's something that I've found very, very impactful in my own life and client work, because our definition of money is very, very important. And if we get this wrong, then it's going to mean that we struggle going forward with the money topic. So let's start off with what money isn't, and you're obviously here to learn. So firstly, let's get very clear that money is not something to be scared of. It's not something to avoid. It's not something bad. It's not something that we shouldn't have. And it's not something that we shouldn't learn about, because we're not taught this in school, For some unknown reason, the school system doesn't teach us anything about money. We kind of just get to an adult stage of our life and it's like, hey, you've got to go and make money. Here's what taxes are. Here's a credit card. Here's all of these things that nobody really understands. So that's what money isn't. It's not something that we shouldn't know things about. It should be something that we're very proud of and something that we're looking to control. So to help us further with our definition, because obviously that's a little bit around the point, we're going to have a look at the history of money. And this is something that really helps me with my understanding of money and how to make more money specifically. So we're going to go back in time, and we're going to go back to 1971 in America, where the then President Nixon was basically lobbying to take money off and currency off the gold standard that it had always been on. So previous to 1971, and this actually goes back a little bit further into history, this is something that people have lobbied for a while. Money was always in relation to how much gold a country had. So if you had $1 million worth of gold, that's how much money you could print, and that was just the way. So money had a very intrinsic value. If you had a $50 bill or £50 or whatever currency you're in, that was worth the same amount in gold, and that's just how it developed throughout human history. And then in 1971, Nixon took the dollar off that gold standard, and it became what we call a fiat currency. So it's spelled just like the car, F-I-A-T. And a fiat currency, by definition, I've got the definition just off the side here, is fiat money does not have use value and has value only because a government maintains its value or because parties engaging in exchange agree on its value. So this is very, very profound, and this may take some time. And I would highly suggest going and researching what a fiat currency is and the history of money, because it's very, very important. It changes your approach to money, or it should do, because if you realize what that means, I want to explain that more, is that basically if money doesn't have a use value and it only has a value when a government maintains its value to agreed parties, it means that it's only perception. It means that money is not a real thing. It's not something very tangible. And it basically means that money will flow to where there is perceived value. So that's the definition that I use, is that money is an energy that flows to where there is perceived value. And that really helps me. And what I mean by that is, if you have a problem, then, and somebody can fix it, then there is perceived value in that like somebody come in with the solution, and therefore you exchange money or that energy to get your problem fixed. And if you look around, that is how the world works. And it really changes the entire energetic approach to money if you start to see it in a way that it is perceived value. It's not like this big, heavy thing that's really difficult to make, and I'm not worthy of money, and all of those things that we struggle with. I don't know how to make more money. If you realize that money isn't really a thing, it's just a perception of exchanging a value and an energy of exchanging a value, then you can start to like hack and rewire the system. So when we ask ourselves the question again of what is money, and I may have just seemingly gone off on a tangent there, but think about that. If money is only going to where there is perceived value, and money is only perceived value anyway, you know, like it doesn't actually have use, it means that we can reverse engineer that process to make more money and save more money by becoming valuable. So this definition of money is an energy that facilitates the exchange of perceived value is something that really helps me out. It's helped a lot of my clients out as well, because if you start to see it that way, it's not really heavy. It's not like this thing we don't understand. It's just like, oh, money, yeah, that's just an energy, and it is just something we use to exchange perceived value. You know, think how light that is, think how easy that is to understand. And in doing so, you can open up way more doors to making more money. So if you want to pause this video and, you know, maybe rewind it, listen to that part again, because this is a big thing. It's a big topic. And some of those concepts I've just discussed there may, like, you know, be a little bit confusing the first time you hear them. But again, there's a comment box below here. You can reply to this video and I can help you out with those things. And we're going to talk about this more in the community. But for right now, if you define money as an energy exchange of perceived value, it's a whole lot easier to make more money, because increasing income, all it equals is increasing our perceived value. So think about that. It's not like something that's so far out of reach. People think making more money is more difficult, but all you have to do is increase your perceived value, because then people will more readily exchange their energetic money, this energy that they have, something that they can exchange to receive that value to you. You know, so if you want to increase your income, all you have to do is increase your perceived value. Now, how do we increase our perceived value? Well, again, like many of these topics, this is an infinitely deep topic of increasing your perceived value. But for right now, in this introductory module, I want you to start thinking of ways that you can increase your value. You know, like how, if you're increasing your skills and you're becoming more valuable in that way, you know, like you start to accrue more skills that other people don't have, then you become more valuable. Employers will be like, oh, okay, they have this, this, and this. Then your perceived value is higher. Other ways you can increase your perceived value is to be able to do things faster than other people, in a more efficient way, in a more precise way, you know. So depending on what it is that you're doing for work, or if you're working in your own business or whatever it is, if you can start to reduce the time it takes for people to see a turnaround, or you can reduce the cost of the things you're doing, then those things become infinitely more valuable. And if your perceived value goes up, then you can expect your income to go up as well. Other ways, and these are very, very simple ways, is that turn up on time, you know, turn up dressed well, turn up looking good, and turn up feeling good, because all of those things are nice to be around, and it's very pleasurable experience to spend time with those people. And if somebody's always on time, if they're always turning up and doing what they say they're going to do, then their perceived value is going to increase as well. And all you have to do to increase your income is increase your perceived value. So this video is kind of like an introductory module, obviously. We're going to dive a little bit further into money in this section. But for right now, if you can understand that money is just this exchange of energy, it's just a perception of value, then you can like hack that system to increase your income. And it makes it a whole lot easier, or at least it did for me and many of the clients that I've shared this with, is that all you have to focus on is increasing your perceived value. That's it. If you do those two things, well, that main thing, and allow money to come in, then you will increase your income. It's not like this super complex formula that it can become in your head. And I know how difficult money can be for a lot of people, because again, we're not taught this at school. But if you focus your intentions on increasing your perceived value, then your income will increase. So that's been the introduction to money, and I'll see you in the next video.